Hello and welcome back to Dreaming in Fibre. My name is Sarah and I'm your host, and my special guest today, it seems, is Pat, who's a little bit overexcited. And why not? It's the end of October, the weather's starting to change, and she's getting all of her favourite puddles to splash around in as we go out for walks. So I'm coming to you live from the HQ. You can find me online at sarastexturecrafts.com. And let's get straight into it. We'll start off talking about some of the shows I did this month. It's the end of show season for me, so it's quite nice to have a couple of small shows to go and do. So it was really nice to be invited along again to the Woolly Weekend at Kelly House. It's a fairly small event, or I should say it's a fairly select event. You've got some really key names in the Devon area who go. I'm just going to check. What are you eating? I hope that's not wool. No, alright. You know, be it felt makers, spinners, knitters, that kind of thing. So there are lots of people who do different kinds of woolly things. There's, you know, everything from selling supplies like myself right through to selling finished items for gifts. Historically, I don't tend to do so well at that type of show. I tend to do better at a supply focused show. But Woolly Weekend is a bit of an exception for me, so it's quite nice to end my show season with a show like that. So really enjoyed the day, met lots of different people as usual, not just customers but fellow stall holders. It's interesting to speak to a lot of people who do workshops and things as well, and just generally to meet other people in the craft industry. Oh, you're knocking things over now. Okay, we'll just leave that. Just leave it, Tara. Being a bit playful. Where's your ball? Why don't you go and get your ball? Go on, go and get your ball. Okay, she's off on the hunt. She might not stay off on the hunt because she hears me talking, but so yeah, Woolly Weekend is a really nice little event. If you haven't been, I do recommend going to it. It's normally the second Saturday in October and coincides with National Wool Week. So it's a really nice day out. Of course, you get to see Kelly House as well, which is an amazing manor house. It's slowly being refurbished by the family, but there's so much history there and lots of stuff to see, and the grounds are really nice to walk about in. So do check this. Let's try that again. Do check that out next year. The last event I went to was just this past weekend, which was the West Country Embroiderers Guild annual general meeting. That again is a really nice little event for me to finish up the year on, because it's closed to members only, and there's plenty of ladies there who are looking to buy supplies for their own crafting. But it also gives me the opportunity to explore other mediums in which wool and silk can be used in, because those are the main things that I dye and sell now. Really enjoyed that event and really enjoyed the speakers that were there as well. The talk was amazing, and it's really nice to be in the company of people who have so many different ideas on how to use the product that I sell. Very inspirational, and I always look forward to that one. So thank you everybody for allowing me to vend with you this year, and I look forward to doing the same again next year. Future events, I think I'm probably just going to pop a couple of pictures in here from those past events, so I'll do that first. And then we could talk about future events. So probably the last thing I've got coming up before Christmas is a workshop with the Craft Hub in Exeter. As far as I know, all the places are fully booked, but I'm expecting about 25 people for a needle felting workshop. It's going to be a pre-Christmas workshop, obviously, so I'm going to do something along the lines of Christmassy decorations. So that will be quite interesting, and I'll show you more about that next month, I think. Yeah, because I should have had the workshop by then. Okay, so I'll show you more next month on that. I'm going to go straight into the shop update today because there's quite a lot to sort of talk about and to show you as well. I'm going to show you in the form of pictures purely because the light is not fantastic today because of the change in weather, so I managed to get some good pictures that I've used on the website, so I will insert them at some point along our conversation. So I've got a list here, so let me talk you through what we've got. It's quite a bit. So, hand-dyed fleece. I've been trying to get as much washed and dyed as I possibly can. Obviously at this time of year dyeing times are much slower because of the dampness, and although I've got drying equipment, it just means an extra cost of having to spend on electricity, and fleece can still take a week to dry even if I use a dryer to get it properly dry. So I've got as much on there as I can, and so I've got the following. I've got some Gotland in colour Tourmaline and colour Indian Summer. I've got Teeswater in Fall Leaves and a tiny bit in Bluebell Woods. They were left over from a wholesale order, so I thought I would put those up in the shop. I've also got some Wensleydale in Rustygate and in colour Tourmaline. Again, they were a little bits left over from a wholesale order, so there's not a huge amount there, so if you were looking for those colours, I will try to dye up more, but do grab what you can while it's there. I've also got some hand-dyed Moata silk, some silk rods and some cocoons. I have made the decision going forward. I always get asked if I can dye lots of different fibres, and I think what I'm going to do, because at the moment my whole situation with the hand dye sort of side of the business is that things are very slow to start off again, just purely because I still have trouble with mobility. I mean, even this month I'm in quite a lot of pain around my ovary area, so it's making mobility and bending and lifting quite difficult, so I'm limited to the capacity that I can dye on the dye days that I have each week. So what I've decided to do is, and I think I mentioned this briefly last month, is just to give you a couple of bunts of each colour, and then I'll re-dye them as quickly as possible, because I've also not only got to do my variegated, but I've got to do all my semi-solids, including the new colours. I've got fleece to do, and I've also got a lot of silk to do, because people do ask me for silk. Also had people asking me for cotton and other fibre-based product. At the moment I'm going to leave those because I just don't have the capacity to be able to dye anything more than wool and silk, and to be able to get them out at a rate that means I can enjoy some kind of an income from it, and I also have yarn to do as well, so I'm going to focus on wool and silk. So if I get to a point where I can employ a second person, then I might branch out into cottons and do cotton fabrics you know, things for nano felting and all of that kind of thing. But until then, while it's just me, it will just be wool and silk, because I have one range of dyes that covers both products, and within the time frame and the way that I dye, that's the easiest for me right now. Having said that, I have got quite a few new hand-dyed products this month and coming next month as well, so do look out for those. The other hand-dyed product are, I've got some mixed fleece left over, and I call it mixed fleece because it's bits of Gotland, bits of Wensleydale, Blueface Leicester, Teeswater, Kerry Hill Cross. It's essentially a big bag of fleece that I've had, that were all initially separated per breed and colourway into their original boxes, and this is fleece I've used for texture boxes, I've taken to shows, and it's basically what I've got left. So I've put it all in together, and I've given you a discounted price, so you'll find that in the sales section on the website. So some quite interesting textures there, and it'll be quite nice to have a mix of the difference of curls and colours. So check that out if you can. The other hand-dyed product this month are the hand-dyed tops. I've released just a few variegated colours and a few of the semi-solid colours. So I will insert pictures here. And so you can see you've got 2 bumps of lichen, 2 bumps of raspberry chocolate, those are your variegated on Blueface Leicester. On the semi-solid we've got chamomile, burnished chamomile. Now what I'm doing with the semi-solid colours, I'm dyeing on natural Blueface Leicester and also on oatmeal Blueface Leicester. Dyeing the same colour on both of those base colours gives me different end results, and I think actually it's going to be quite interesting to see how some of those burnished work up against some of those semi-solids or even the variegateds. I think particularly these burnished colours that I have now would look great in sort of colour work which is very in season, and particularly sort of natural looking fair isles and so on. So do check those out. As I say, I've got chamomile, clementine in natural and burnished. I've got pepper and poppy as well in both of those. Really nice shades. What I decided to do was to release the semi-solids in sort of tones from one colour to another. So I've gone from yellow to red this time. Next time I might go from pink to purple, or maybe blue to green or something like that. So I'll release the colours in that way. So they are coming, and there, as I say, will be a lot more choice, certainly in this already. There are a couple of new colours that I've not done before, the pepper and the poppy. So that's it for hand-dyed. I've also got some texture boxes and some pre-felt bundles. The details for the pre-felt bundles are on the website, so check those out. But those are quite nice if you're doing small scale projects, and they're only £2.50 for a bundle, and you get, I think, 4 or 5 colours in that, so that's a really good buy. I've also uploaded some more theme bats. These were from the old, from previous bat clubs, so Malachite and Electropop. And there was one thing I wanted to say with the Bat Club as well. I've decided not to do a Bat Club per se. The reason being is that although there is certainly uptake for the club, I originally, when the club first started, it was sign up, and then that product will go out at a later date towards the end of the month. And so I'd card everyone's up together, package them all up, and go from there. I had so many people who were ordering their back club along with other products, which was absolutely fine. But the website couldn't quite handle working out the correct postage for 2 packages. For me to be able to hold back the back club to card everything all together and send them out as separate packages. So what I did in the end, I think for the last couple of months, is I ended up just carding the back club and sending them out with orders as they went, so that it, you know, financially made sense. And then it sort of occurred to me that actually there's not really much point of a club label on the whole thing, you know. Because the other thing with the club is that it was quite specific in what you got and the blends involved and the offer that you got to choose from. So I think what I'm going to do instead is to still release a monthly colour, and it might be a monthly bat, it might be a monthly colour, new colour of Rolag, it might be a new colour of the roving bonbons, which are essentially drafted bats. So there might be one new colour for each of those, or for one of those areas per month. So it won't be an official club, but of course there'll be plenty for you to be able to buy. So you can come and buy that new colourway as you would normally do. It just doesn't have a club label on it. So I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, email me. I'm having one of those days. But yeah, I just thought it kind of made sense to do it that way. It doesn't affect your buying, and it certainly doesn't affect deliveries at all. It just means that it kind of makes a little bit more sense for me in terms of the manufacture, production, and worrying about the financy side of things. I also have, oh hello, some felting needles in mixed packs. Previously I was selling them in just box of 10s per gauge, but now I've been able to get enough new stock that I can start making those mixed packs again. So you can find them, there are a couple of different options, but that's all on the website available for you to check out. And then the final thing to announce, I guess, is knitting needles. I think I mentioned last month or the month before that I am now a supplier for ChowGoo. Well, I'm also now a supplier for Knit Pro. One of my suppliers who imports lots of brands from overseas started to import the Knit Pro product, the Knit Pro brand, and so they approached me and said, look, you know, we know that you buy X, Y and Z from us already, would you be interested in buying into the Knit Pro range? Yeah. So I have limited stock on the website at the moment, and they're mostly kits or the little clicky row counters, which I will eventually replace all of my existing pony sort of swivel row counters with, and sock blockers. But of course I am able to get anything that Knit Pro do, so if you're looking for something in particular, do contact me because I can get hold of it. I order from this particular supplier anywhere from 2 weeks to a month depending on sell-through of stock for that particular product. So if you need something urgently, then contact me and I can see if I can do an extra order, or if it's something that I have in stock. If not, then I can at least give you sort of wait times on my delivery, on my next delivery from them. I think at some point in the future probably what I will do is the same as I do with some of the Ashford stuff that I don't always have in-house, and that is to put the listing up on the website, and then you can come in and place your pre-orders for those particular products. And so when I come to do those orders from that supplier, I can make sure I get your order in as well. Okay, so that will be a bit of an easier way for you to be able to just order anything that you need along with your usual orders. So that's it really for the shop update. Sounds kind of short and sweet, but it's actually a hell of a lot. So do check it out, sarastexturecrafts.com. I'll probably put a limited amount of the hand dyed on Etsy, but it will be limited. I want the main focus of what I'm doing right now to be on the website, so that's where you should come if you need anything. Having said that, what else do I need to talk about? There was something else from the shop. No, I think that's it. If I've missed anything, then I will mention it next month. I guess the only other thing to say really is the whole shop update thing. I think I mentioned last month that I probably won't stick to just updating once a month. Instead, what I'm going to do when I dye things, the moment they're dry, I'm going to put them on the website. So if you are stalking particular colours and you don't want to miss them, then probably best to check the website on a weekly or 2 weekly basis from now up until Christmas, because I'm going to try and get as much done as I can and upload probably 2 or 3 colours at a time. We'll see how it goes, because obviously I've got a lot to get through. If you follow me on Facebook or on Twitter, then I'll also try and update when new products go in there as well, so you've got a bit of a heads up. If you are a newsletter member, don't forget that that's where you can get exclusive offers. Can't afford to do it every month, but I do certainly do it where I can. So do also sign up to the newsletter. Of course, that only goes out once a month, so it's not too much bombardment from me to your inbox. That's it really for the shop update. Okay, so let's get talking about other stuff, shall we? I wanted to give a quick shout out to my blog, Crafts of Texture. For the longest time it's been kind of just a personal thing really, and sort of conversation about the development of business and so on. Kind of had a little bit of a shake-up, and this has come, I guess, probably since having been ill in June. I kind of started to look at business slightly differently, and I wanted to be much more interactive and appreciative of the people around me, you know, customers, friends, you know, internet friends, that kind of thing. So I've turned my blog into a bit more of a sort of woolly lifestyle blog, and I aim to talk a lot more, not just about me and what's happening at Sara's Texture Crafts, but lots more about sort of the woolly aspects of life. So whether it be wool industry news, or whether it be sort of highlighting some indie companies that I've found that I really want to tell you about, or giving you a heads up on tutorials and patterns, that kind of thing, then that's going to be much more of the nature of that blog. So if you were following it, do start to expect some new stuff. If you weren't following it and you'd like to, then the blog can be found at craftsoftexture.com. If you have the old URL, which is sarastexturecrafts.blogspot.co.uk or .com, depending on what you want to type in, then all of those work and get you to the right place. Alternatively, put Crafts of Texture into Google and you shall find me, no problem at all. Okay, I guess I should show you some of my finished products. I wanted to insert a picture here of my Innocence movie hats. Yeah, I decided it was quite late on. In fact, it was early October, and I was still knitting them at the Woolly Weekend. That I wanted to put some, make some little hats for the Innocence movie Age Concern campaign this year. So I didn't do too many. I only managed to get 10 done in the end. But I hope that helped them to achieve their goal. I think they wanted 1 million hats, something like that. So I hope that helped. I certainly know that there were a lot of other people who did amazing numbers. They've got a group on Ravelry, and I'm pretty sure some of the ladies there who were knitting had hats ranging in, the sort of thousands. So I felt like a total underachiever by comparison, but it was an opportunity to give, and I enjoyed doing it, and I think I'll definitely do more for next year. It's a great little project to use up scrap yarns as well, so if you've got a lot of scrap yarns that you're thinking, I don't really know what to do with this, or they're not colours that I particularly want to use for anything, then the Innocence movie campaign is always a good bet for using up your scraps. The other thing that I completed, and it hasn't been a major sort of project month really, was my Brixham hat, and I'm going to show you a picture here. Of it on. And this is a pattern that's also available on Ravelry as a download. The price is £1.50, I think, off the top of my head. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's right. And it's just a quick and simple one skein project hat. I used Chapeau Vola in their Reggae Ombre yarn, which is a felted single. It actually stands up really quite well to washing, but you can felt it. So if you're going to wash it, recommend hand washing, or a very, very cool, if not a cold wash in the washing machine. If you do want to felt it, it does felt at 40 degrees, I think. I put my test swatch on, and it does give quite a nice felted finish. This hat is unfelted, as you can see, and it's just really my inspiration from our day out at Brixham in Devon. So if you were watching last month, and I'll link in the show notes to the pattern and last month's podcast, then you can understand where I got this, sort of idea of a sort of fisherman's hat. I don't have that currently for sale on the website because it doesn't utilise my own yarn. I don't know whether or yarn I sell. So I don't know whether I want to put it on there or not really at the moment. I'm going to have a think about that, but it's on Ravelry, so you can get hold of it, no problem at all. And if you are not on Ravelry but you would like a copy of the pattern, then email me and I can always send you a PayPal invoice for one, and email that over as a PDF. The only other thing I think I finished was swatches, and I think I remember showing you last month the big board of swatches that I'd had done. I've got a few more done this time, and certainly been working on mini skeins for more swatches, and these will all work towards the new releases of colour on the website in terms of dyed fibre. Really enjoyed doing them, and they're nice, easy swatches to do while you're watching TV, and it's a great way for me to be able to see how the colour works, and to also think up new colourways and hopefully give you ideas on different ways that you might knit the projects when you buy the yarn. So that's it for works in progress that we've finished. So I guess I've got the projects that I'm working on. I'm going to show you a quick picture here of the t-shirt yarn that I made during the month. I'm going to blog about that on Crafts of Texture quite soon as well. So there won't be a link to that in the show notes, but if you go to craftsofTexture.com and keep an eye out, then you'll hear about how I did that and how I cut up the yarn, just in case you want to do that for yourself. Ooh, balmy about today. You hear that? So I will show you some of the commercial t-shirt yarn that I also bought to coordinate that project, and it involves leaning out of shot because I think Patch knocked it over. So hold on. Here we go. So this is a DMC t-shirt yarn. It's in a grey colour and it's 92% recycled cotton and 8% other recycled fibres. You get about 120 metres on there, and they recommend using a 12mm needle or crochet hook. I'm going to use a crochet hook because all of the t-shirt yarns I've been collecting are going to make a crochet bag of some description. I've yet to decide on the design, but I thought I would show you that because that's also part of my stash enhancement this month. So I'm quite excited about doing that. I've also got a couple of tutorials coming up. I'm wanting to do a tutorial swap with Lupin on bugsofishes.blogspot.co.uk. Laura, who runs the blog, has does some amazing work with craft felt sheets, so either the acrylic or wool blend fabric sheets that you can buy from the haberdashery. I have some wool blend versions in the shop at sarasexualcrafts.com. Anyway, she's having a bit of a craft tutorial along, in that she's invited lots of us to sort of get involved and release craft tutorials on a Christmassy theme. I think on the 18th, Monday the 18th of November, on our on our blogs. So mine will be at craftsofTexture.com. I have something in mind. I'm not going to give you too many details. The only other things I bought this month were from the West Country Embroiderers Guild show, so I'll quickly show you those. Again, apologies for leaning out of shot. The first one is from Torbay Textiles, and this is just a small kit with beads and cut pre-felt. I thought it would just be really quite nice to create a couple of brooches, or I might use them in another project, I'm not sure yet, but the project will be on craftsofTexture.com, so if you're following there you'll see how I get to use that, and I will link to her shop in the show notes. Don't forget the show notes for the podcast will be at dreamingandfibre.blogspot.com, but you can also find them on Crafts of Texture now as well. From Beads of Beauty, I also bought a couple of little boxes of seed beads. I just needed, like I need any more beads, but I just needed a hit of a different colour that I'm not really used to, so hopefully that will inspire me. So a bit of yellow and orange there. The other thing I bought was from a fellow dyer, Katie. She deals with cotton really, so she does hand-dyed fat quarters and embroidery skeins. And again, I'm not really used to working and playing with these colours, so I thought it might be quite interesting to have a go and maybe use some of those beads that I bought along with some of my other stash and buttons and things to create a project. That will be for craftsofTexture.com as well. And then finally, a cheeky little fat quarter, which is from Sparkle. I was going to say Sparkle Duck, it's not right. A complete blank on the name of her shop, and that's so silly. I'm going to put that in here, so follow that link. But this is a cheeky little Christmassy fat quarter, just a bit of fun really. I don't know what I'll do with that yet. I might make a project bag, or I might save it for one of my nieces, and maybe make something for them, for a little present or something. So that's it. That's my stash enhancement. Beyond that, I haven't really got a huge amount of stuff to talk about. I guess it's quick today because I've got a huge amount of carding to do. I was lucky enough to get several orders this week for large amounts of carded bats for people to make jumpers and lots of larger scale projects like blankets and things like that. So I'm looking forward to getting this edited as quickly as possible before lunch, and then cracking on at the drum carder this afternoon, because it'll give me opportunity to invent a new colourway for release this month at sarastexturecrafts.com. So I'm sorry if that all felt a bit rushed. It did feel like I kind of rushed it, and I didn't really want to, so I'm sorry about that. Just one of those weeks. Oh, I know what I was going to talk about. This. This is a cute little project. It's pretty sure it was a free pattern on Ravelry, and it's called All the Threes. And I can't remember the name of the lady who designed it, but I'll put everything in the show notes. Really quick and easy knit, and it was the first time that I've knit a top-down sweater all in one. So I was really pleased with the results, and really pleased with these cute little buttons as well that I got from John Lewis and Exeter. The yarn is my yarn. It's my merino and silk base. This is the DK weight. I'd say it's probably a heavier DK weight, but I just love the way it's come out. I don't mind the pooling. This is coloured tourmaline. I don't mind pooling in certain areas. I think it actually looks really cute. But I was really pleased with how that worked. You can check out the notes for that on my Ravelry page. And yeah, that's kind of it. So I really hope that you are having a wonderful day, that if you're in the UK or in Northern Europe, you haven't suffered too badly from the storms that we've just had. We were lucky enough down here to, I think, miss the most of it. So I hope that you're safe and there's not been too much damage done. I hope that you've enjoyed October as well, and that you're enjoying the fact that it's not quite as cold as it was this time last year. Shame it's as wet as it is some days, but we are getting a little bit of sunshine, so it's not all that bad. And I look forward to seeing you in November, where we're going to share lots more stories about crafts and wool and stuff. So I'll catch up with you soon, guys. Bye. Hey Patch, are we going to go for a walk? Should we go to the park? Just been mocked. Are we going to go and... Are we? See the old lady across the road? Do you want to go and get some cakes? Where are you, Patch? Where are you? Hello. Do you want to go and pick some carrots from the allotment? Do you want to... Oh, alright then. You want to go for a nicely? Should we go for a walk? Get some dinner? Go for a nicely? Hey Patch, you want to go for a nicely? Go on then. Alright, I'm coming.